after helping run the tournament. Welcome.
Thanks, Maxie. Yeah, super exciting to be here, and what a cracking day we have down here. There's amazing weather. We got 28, 29 degrees, sand side, a little bit of breeze blowing in from the Ferris wheel end of the beach just to keep the players cool. Not enough to really affect the ball, but it's been a pretty exciting tournament so far. So this is going to be a great gold medal game. We had Isaac and Crooksy. Crooksy, a really late minute call-up. So Isaac unfortunately was scheduled to head over to Doha to play King of the Court. Could not go over. A few COVID issues prevented him from going. His partner, Mark Nicolaitis, went over. Unfortunately, he came back with a few COVID issues. So after a few panicked calls Friday, Aaron Crook bought some tickets, flew into Adelaide and joined his partner Saturday morning. So a bit of a shaky tournament start for them. And they have just gone from strength to strength as the tournament's gone on. Damo and Justy, they started real solid and not much has changed. So, as you said, super exciting to see Damo. He claims he retired last year. I think this is his 5th tournament of the summer. So, interesting retirement, Max.
Yeah, it was always going to happen. It's when someone like Damo says he's retiring, that effectively that just means that his wife Sarah is telling him you can't go overseas anymore for volleyball.
That's right, and it started, yeah, you can play a few local events. Then, okay, SA Open's coming up, and I said to Damo yesterday, so you're heading over to any national tours? And he's like, we'll see. He'll be on the world tour in no time, mate.
So still a few minutes away before we get going. Isaac and Aaron just taking a little breather under the umbrella while the Schumann brothers keep having a bit of a hitting warm-up. Now, some of you on the live stream might be able to see when Isaac gets up, he has a few little photos and everything on his shorts. If you're wondering what they are, they're actually NFTs that he owns from Strong Ape Club. Before heading over to Doha, Isaac and Mark organised with Strong Ape Club to, get sponsored by him. They got a few NFTs, and so they've got them and showing them proudly on their shorts.
And I think both of these teams have a relatively cruisy tournament so far. Haven't really been troubled enormously probably prior to today. It was a bit of a long day yesterday for them, but they both came through their quarterfinals, no worries. They both topped their pools in pool play. And I think as we're coming out here, both of them had a straight set semi this morning where they were challenged a bit, but they were certainly up to the task. So we've got seed 1 versus seed number 2, so it's exactly what you want for your gold medal game. So as these players come out, we'll really see the best on offer here, which is fantastic to have them here at Glenelg again.
Coincidentally, they actually both had the exact same scoreline, winning the first set 21-13 and then 21-17 in the second set.
And as always, Glenelg has turned it on crowd-wise. We're unfortunately grandstand free this year thanks to our COVID restrictions, but it has not stopped Glenelg packing out our court all along that wall, packing it out at both ends, and we're certainly at standing room only as the players come out onto court. And we'd be amiss not to mention our referees. I'll probably get in trouble if I don't mention them, so I should. We have first referee all the way from Glenelg, Pete Bowie and Connor Riley as our second referee for today.
All right, as the two teams meet the net, give themselves the good luck, even though neither of them actually mean it.
No, not at all.
We have Justin Schumann back to serve. He'll be kicking off this game for us. With Damo up to block, which he never really does.
He has enjoyed it this tournament, though. Got a couple of blocks yesterday morning, and geez, didn't he let them know?
He's going to have to get up a little bit higher, though, if he's going to stop that swing from Isaac off the top of the block and out the side. Good side out to start from them. Aaron Crook back to serve.
It's really going to be interesting to see which team goes after who with their serve today. I think we're going to see whether they go after the young blood in Isaac Carraher or they go the shorter player in Crooksy.
Going after Crooksy there, getting the very tight pass, and Isaac not being able to get it back out of the net there. Potentially we've seen what they're going to do. Maybe they're just testing out both players.
I think there's a couple of serves from Damo there, kind of squeezing the middle of the court a bit. It might be a bit of a, let's see who's going to take the dominant first attack, see what they want to do, and maybe try and take that away from them a bit.
Damo putting that ball up on a platter for Justy to put that away on 2.
And we see Justy swinging a couple of times early on that 2 play. So I think the boys in yellow are certainly going to try and keep that ball moving quickly, I think. Not let the other team set up as much.
Damo not a stranger to the 2-ball offense, you know, playing with Chris McHugh, where that was a bit of their bread and butter, Damo putting Chris up for the 2-ball.
You know, I was talking about that serve down the middle to see who wants to take it. Exactly like that, mate.
Yep, just a good old hubby wife serve. All right, the first switch of ends, we've got the Schumans leading, trailing 3-4.
It's a great swing by Justy, finding that cross-court angle. You can see that little bit of wind that we were discussing before the game, that ball just blowing a little bit tighter to the net. So players need to be really aware of that when they're setting, let the ball drift a bit.
You can see in that instant replay, there's a little bit of a holding a stare down from Justy.
And a nice quick little set there. I think both of these teams we're going to see a really fast attacking play. All 4 players really trust their hands. They're fantastic finger setters. So we're going to see this ball move around really quickly in attack.
Big point here. And Isaac putting it away. There's a great cover on the first phase there by Justy. Putting the ball up. Damo hitting right into the block of Isaac. Justin keeping the ball alive, and then Isaac coming back, putting it away.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of that from the team in yellow today. The Schumans both known around Australia and Damo especially around the world as being some of the best defenders going around. So we're going to see a lot of digs. We're going to see a lot of peeling off the net, playing that defensive ball. They're certainly going to make Crooksy and Isaac earn every single point and make it really tough on them.
Ball just sailing along. The wind coming from the back of Justin, just helping that just go out by a couple feet there. Crooksy just not able to control that ball. Nice hard swing at his face, getting hands on it, but not getting close enough to Isaac for him to make a play on it.
We see Damo and Justy sharing the blocking duties around a little bit early. That's not necessarily something that we've seen a lot of this tournament so far. Damo seemed to take the vast majority line share of that blocking.
It's a great end there from Damo and Justin Schumann there. They went down to the wind of the back end, trailing 3-4, and then they've pulled out the 4-3 win on that. So switching at 7-all.
And naturally, being beach volleyballers, we love to bang that ball into the wind. You know, hit it hard, let the wind kind of drag the ball down into court, slow it up. It's a little bit harder attacking when that ball's right, and then when that wind's right behind you, rather. Certainly serving a bit easier as well. You can really rip that serve and let the wind do the work for you.
Yeah, well, as Damo showed there, you can, you know, hit that float serve and just let it sit up in the wind, and then, you know, you let the wind take over. You know, if you were watching for the men's bronze medal match, you saw Garang really going for his jump serve and, you know, hitting that ball high and deep into the wind. Isaac just getting caught fishing in the net there. You know, the dig from Crooksy just pulling up too tight for him. Seen both teams here, you know, with the wind in their face. A couple of sets are just, you know, drifting off, not quite getting tight enough. we'll need to see that tidy up from both teams as the game goes on.
And I think at the moment the wind's probably a little bit deceiving. It certainly doesn't look that windy, but looking at how the ball's playing and the feel that the wind's kind of got coming past us, and you can see some of the flags in the background there, the ball's doing a bit more than it probably appears, which is taking a while for these guys to settle into the game.
Yeah, you might be able to see with a few of the umbrellas, it just seems like there's a bit of a light gust, but if the shot shows here, the Voltron electrical flag in the background, it's actually waving pretty hard. A great shot down the line by Damien Schumann there.
Certainly heard the high line call by Justin, seeing that open court where there's no defenders. And really big point here, Max. So we're going to take a technical timeout when the score's total 21. So we're currently at 9-10. So this is going to be a really big one. These next 2 points are super important for both players.
A big fudge call from Damien Schumann there. That's a coach killer. The amount of times he would have been told as a player, you don't serve into the net with the wind in your face. You've got to get that ball over, make the other team play. Big point here, out of the net. See if Justin can put this ball away.
That ball just sailing out. See the linesman with the flag raised above the hedge, signalling that ball's out. And just maybe worth having a bit of a chat about some of the differences between indoor and beach at this point as we move to that technical timeout with Isaac Carraher and Aaron Crook leading 12-9. So you saw Isaac kind of go up, make that play at the net and fall under the net. Now in indoor, there's a line directly underneath that net that you're not allowed to step down across. That doesn't exist in beach, so you can travel under the net as far as you can as long as you're not impeding on the team on the other side of the court. So Isaac, all of these players obviously know all the rules perfectly, and Isaac's stepping under there to avoid touching that net and then allowing the ball to come off so Crooksy can play that ball across.
Yeah, I'd just like to take time to thank the sponsors, City of Holdfast Bay, Jetty Road Glenelg, the Moseley Beach Club, and of course Nippies. We wouldn't be here and wouldn't be able to hold this beautiful tournament without their help and support. Now the boys coming back out after technical timeout. The Schumann brothers looking to fight back, pull that scoreline just a little bit closer their way. Isaac going back to serve with the 12-9 lead.
And look, I think Isaac and Crooksy would be really happy with how that first half of the opening set went. They went down that bad end with the wind at their back a couple times, and to come away with that 12-9 end lead moving into the good end, they'd be really happy with that.
Yeah, this could just be a little bit of the difference of, one of the teams having someone who is, a bit more of the blocker in Isaac, opposed to the two, generally two defenders in Damien and Justin Schumann. And as I say that, Aaron Crook goes up to the net.
I think it's worth, I called Crooksy the shorter player, and I felt bad since doing that at the start. I think it is worth mentioning that in his younger days, when he did travel, he's obviously got a young family now, so doesn't travel around the world as much, but I think his jump in sand was about 2 meters 10. So while he's not the tallest, he certainly makes up for it with how high he gets above that net tape.
Damien just getting called for a net touch there. I think showing that it was just his singlet, but he might not know as the as being a defender that does still count, unfortunately.
I think he knows, but it's also handy to slow the game down at times, Max.
Just going long there from Justin, looking for that line. It was open. He could have taken it, but wind just helping that along.
We've seen a couple of really quick points scored by the boys in red. I wouldn't be surprised if the next couple don't go the way of the Schumanns, if we see maybe a timeout or something like that, just to catch their breath and just slow the game down.
Here we go. Not a timeout, but you know, if it clean to the sunglasses, put them away. Justin Schumann never actually used to wear sunglasses and only started wearing them once he figured out that you can actually cheat a few free timeouts by wearing them and having to clean them.
I think we're going to be careful with where we use the word cheat, I think, Max, but I think it's in the rules. It's
sorry, I meant sneak. Sneak
is better. So what the rules actually say is when your sunglasses do come off and you dive and you get a mouthful of sand or anything like that, you can actually go away, you can rinse them off, you can then use the magic cloths that the referees have just to clean them out, make sure, you know, I think Justin's making really sure they're clean. This is not one of the quicker times, but, you know, there's some very interesting rules around that. When Justin went over and got some water and washed his sunnies off, if he'd actually swallowed a mouthful of that, he would have got a delay for time wasting. So there is some strict things you need to know if you're going to be clever around the rules.
Now you've got me wondering if you held the sunglasses above your face and poured the water to clean them and then just caught it in your mouth.
It's interesting. You can take water in your mouth if you've had a mouthful of sand, but if you swallow it, time delay. If you spit it out, you're all good. But obviously it worked, Justin seeing the line there and hitting that line shot.
And not quite big enough though to, you know, stop that cross-court hit there.
And it is, I mean, it's super challenging for Justy being weighed down by the strength of that glorious mullet as well. So having to work real hard to get out of the sand there.
Third time lucky there. Aaron Crook getting a couple of great touches there in defence. Both of them, unfortunately, you know, going back over the net and giving the Schumans extra chances. And all it took was the third time Damo puts the ball away.
It's not bad though, Maxi. If you can make a team have to have 3 attacks before they win a point, you're doing pretty well as a defender.
Big kick cross court there from Isaac Carraher, taking quite a commanding lead, 18-12 up.
What do you reckon, Maxi? At this point, are Damo and Justy thinking a bit more about what they need to do to rally in the second, or are they thinking they still are a chance of this set?
I reckon they're always thinking that, you know, you're a chance. You've always got to back yourself in. But because at the same time, you know, if you get in those points, string them together, give yourself a chance to win this set, all that's doing is giving you extra momentum anyway for that second set. So I feel like it's a bit of the same thing, just calling it different words.
I think one thing that all 4 players on this court certainly share is they don't really ever know the meaning of give up. They're going to fight and they're going to dig every ball that they possibly can as that ball just sails along over the baseline. 18-14, 4 points the margin.
Isaac getting the dig, looking to put it away. Justin hanging on it. There we go. Huge point.
Now, there's one thing I've learned from this tournament. When you've got a Schumann that gets a block, if it doesn't hit the sand, if they get set, they're hitting the next ball as hard as they possibly can because they're not sacrificing the one block they got to lose the point.
Now, I don't think you would have seen it on the stream, but Justin's still so hyped that, you know, throwing the hat into the ground, still celebrating. Usually that would happen when you're quite angry, but Schumann's coming back 15-18 behind, but a couple of big points, gaining them that momentum. You know, if it's not for this set, it's definitely coming on for the second set here.
And they've still got a couple of points up that good end as well. You know, we've got 2 more points till we change. In beach volleyball, we do change every 7 points in the first 2 sets just to make sure sun and wind and conditions are the same for both teams. So I think Damo and Justy are going to come out here and really try and make the use of those last 2 points. You know, if they're successful with them, they can move this down to a 1-point game as we change ends. So we're going to come on and look, I just want to point out another big thank you to Nippies as well. It was a really long day in the sand yesterday, and I know more than one of the players were very thankful for their amazing water and chocolate milk to help the cramping issues.
Oh, and just the taste. The chalky milk, just the taste in general. Aaron Crook putting that ball away just out of reach of Justin, who's jumping in the cross court. Just the wrong serve there. Isaac Carraher will be back to serve, leading 19-15. They'll be looking to get another point on the defensive end here. But a great pass by Damo, and even better hit by Justin Schumann to get a 16-19 end.
So I think we can see there's been a big difference at the start and this end point of this first set, where both Damo and Justy were passing really well and allowing each other to come in and hit that second ball and really make that offense quite fast, and not allowing the boys in red time to set up as much. And the middle part of that set, that kind of drifted away, and that's where that margin came in.
It's not what you want there, try and gain a bit of momentum and then giving a 3 point back to the other team, with Isaac and Aaron with set point here.
Great little knuckle there by Crooksy, great dig. And Damo saves one. Really, really good play by Isaac and Crooksy there. Crooksy making a great little knuckle dig and then just not able to close this one out. But they've still got 3 set points up their sleeve.
Oh, it's a great turn and dig by Damo.
That's a really difficult skill to do, to be blocking and turning and tracking that ball along the net tape.
It's just a bit of strength there by Damien Schumann. He may have retired, but he hasn't lost his jousting ability at all.
And you don't think it, because Damo's not one of the tallest players when you're talking about international volleyball, but he's taken some big scalps in jousts over the years. Taken some of the tallest and best players in the world. And we saw a really, really fast offense there, a really low shoot set by Isaac. And you can see Justy just trying to read there and adjust, and Crooksy just poking it into the open court, taking that first set 21-18.
But still was a great end of the set there by the Schumans. Even though they did end up losing, they gained that extra momentum that they needed, and potentially desperately needed after how it was looking in the middle of the set. They looked a little bit flat, but get a couple of big points going your way, get a block there by Damo, and it just, everything starts building up in your favour.
That's exactly right. Yeah, and I think really interesting. They were 4 or 5 points down. They pegged it back, and they forced Crooksy and Isaac to call that timeout and take that reset. And while they got over the line again, I think both of the Schumans would be feeling good that they forced the other team into calling that timeout and putting that pressure on. So I think we're going to start right back at level pegging in this second set. So we are going to play best of 3. Of course, if you are new to beach volleyball, the first 2 sets are going to be to 21. We're going to change ends every 7 points in those. And if we are at 1-0, we're going to move to a tiebreaker third set. That's going to be to 15 points, and we're going to go around the court every 5 points there.
Yeah, Justin and Damien Schumann will just be looking at this like new set, starting 0-all, got to come out strong here. Taking what they can from that first set, but also just letting it be and coming out strong here, where Aaron Crook and Isaac Carraher will be going, all right, we've got to build on what we've just done. We've taken that first set, now let's keep going, keep the foot down.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're going to be trying to forget about that middle point of that set where they had to call the timeout. They're going to want to come out here and do exactly that. That's exactly what they're going to talk about.
So that's potentially also just a little bit of the thing that would happen with 2 defenders. No one getting up there and covering the block. Both guys just looking like they're going to sit back in defence, giving Crooksy the open court to just hammer it down.
Fantastic swing from Damo. Straight back at him.
Great swing there by Damo, along with Isaac getting a little bit greedy, potentially grabbing a bit of the net. Either way, the point is still the same.
Oh,
Damien Schumann. Great jump in on the angle there.
And just even though Damien got the block there, we saw that really fast offense again, and you can just see Justy's just not quite set, still trying to make some ground cover. So that's exactly what Isaac and Crooksy are going to want to see. That defender not set yet, still trying to make ground.
That was actually a great set there from Isaac. May not have potentially looked like it with all this spin, but to get that ball back up to the net for Crooksy to have an attack on that with the wind in your face is actually quite a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just the skills of all of these players at the moment, especially with their setting, they've really settled down with that wind, and they're putting that ball in that really good spot time and time again.
Another great spot on the block there by Dama, but just not quite getting it down this time, where Isaac and Aaron were able to cover themselves and then put the ball away on the second time of asking.
And, I mean, looking at that replay, how's that from Crooksy? You know, makes the play, gets blocked, manages to make a dig straight off his chest, no time to transition, has to go straight up, and manages just to play that ball into a perfect spot. Not bad for someone who retired from National Tour about 5 years ago. Certainly staying fit and very highly skilled.
Great dig there by Damien Sherman, putting the ball up on two for Justin to put away. But yeah, as you said, Aaron Crook is still extremely fit. Knowing that he does like the occasional 24-hour run, running these ridiculous distance overnight as well. Even going into the desert a couple of years ago, I think over in Africa maybe, and just the amount of Ks that he puts through his legs is ridiculous.
Yeah, they call them ultra marathons, and every time I see a post about what he's got up and coming, it makes me a little bit sick, Max.
I hate running. I don't know how he could do it.
Apparently, he just got up one morning and thought, I'm going to run a marathon for fun and see how I go, and ran a really good time and thought, you know what, I can do this. Which, again, amazing.
Now, get it back to the action on the court. We've seen a great start to the second set here from Damien and Justin Schumann. They're leading 6-3 currently, going by the scoreboard that we've got at the court. A much better start here to this set. Well, the wind taking that set there a bit. See if Aaron can put this ball away, and he does.
And, you know, as the wind does pick up a little bit, and we can feel it blowing a little bit stronger all of a sudden, those three players that are a bit shorter on the court are probably going to enjoy that a bit more. Traditionally, our taller players do like that wind to die down a bit so they can play nice and high, and shorter players are able to use the wind a bit to keep themselves in that taller game.
Isaac with a no-look cross-court hit. Potentially a little bit of a jump-up hit this and pray, but it looked fantastic.
Got the job done pretty well as well.
Go back to the two ball. Again, this time going with the shot. Getting the point just out of reach by Aaron, who's diving to try and touch that ball.
And we've seen Justin Schumann do that a little bit from the left side, of taking that second ball, hitting it cross into the wind, and allowing the wind to kind of bring it down in front of that defender.
Oh, here we go. We've got a little bit of arguing here. It was a joust at the net.
Just a net touch called on Crooksy.
Okay, let's have a look at this replay here. Oh, I'm not sure. Pretty hard to see from that angle.
Ooh, really difficult to see. But look,
Going back again, this time no fault on the joust, but there is the net touch on the block.
Crooksy not looking happy about it, but I think not questioning that one.
Yeah, I think that one's a little bit more just annoyed at himself there.
And again, I know we're talking about it a lot, but that little bit of wind dragging that ball away from you can be really difficult as a blocker. You'd probably know more than me, given the fact that there's a 1.5 foot height difference between us. But I think as that ball drifts away from you as a blocker, you can tend to reach and just bring that net into play a bit. Really tricky.
Yeah, it's the thing when the ball is sitting there at the start and you're like, yep, I can go up and grab this, and then all of a sudden it just keeps reaching and keeps, drifting further and further away as Damo gets a nice block there on Aaron, who tried to cover himself, couldn't quite get it there. As they take a timeout, trailing 5-10. But yeah, when that ball is sitting there nice and on top of the net, and then all of a sudden it starts just drifting away from you, you keep on trying to follow it, and then, yeah, sometimes it's that net tape creeps into it and you just cop it, and then afterwards you're just kicking yourself.
So Max, while we've got this timeout, you're part of our senior volley roos team, so tell us what's 2022 got planned for you?
For me, so we've got the national tour starting off in Cobram at the beginning of Feb, which all of the senior players will be looking at playing as much as we can. And then we have our World Tour events in the new format that they're starting with the Challenger and Elite series, kicking off beginning of March in Mexico and then Brazil. So we'll be aiming to go over and play a couple of those events. And then, of course, we've got some massive events later on in the middle of the year in Com Games and World Champs, and then followed up by Asian Games. And it's the first time Australia will actually be invited to the Asian Games. So we've got 3 massive tournaments, which are all up for the grabs for teams to be selected for. So all the teams going on the World Tour will be looking to get their best result to, try and get their names called for, Com Games, World Champs, and Asian Games.
And of course, those really big events for Australians, we just see that first and second touch not being able to control, just 11-5, that lead opening up to a 6.1 now for our boys in yellow, just opening up a little bit of a lead over both Isaac Carraher and Aaron Crook. Yeah, both of those events really important to Australia. We currently hold the Commonwealth Games beach volleyball gold medal. Damien Schumann and his partner Chris McHugh won that in the Gold Coast in 2018. That being the first time beach volleyball, of course, was included in the Com Games. And then currently men's Asian champions as well, one of the many Asian champs titles that we've got. So really exciting to be involved in the Asian Games as well.
Yeah, it was just at the end of last year that we had the 2021 Asian Championships, where Damien's former partner, Chris McHugh, had a new partner in Paul Burnett and teamed up and in the semi-final actually knocked off the #1 ranked team in the world in Qatar, and then went on to win, which was actually Chris's 5th Asian Champs, and getting Paul his first, as Damo just hits that one just a little bit wide as they look to take their first and only time out of this set as well, leading 11-8.
Worth mentioning, Qatar also, Olympic bronze medalists at that point, coming hot off a bronze medal. Australia managing to knock them off. Isaac Carraher did trek over to that event as well, coming away with a 5th for his first Asian Champs, which is a fantastic effort for him. Had a really good tournament. Just not quite able to get the job done in the quarterfinal, but certainly amazing signs of things to come. Earned him and Mark Nicolaitis that invitation to the Doha King and Queen of the Beach finals, which I know he was shattered. Unfortunately, he could not take part in, but I dare say it's going to be one of many opportunities for him to get overseas in the next, 12 to 18 months, but certainly the rest of his career as well.
Also at that King and Queen of the Beach event in Doha, we had another Aussie in Phoebe Bell go over and team up, girl from Latvia, and they actually came 3rd. So a nice little win there for Phoebe Bell. As we get a nice little dig there from Damo. Can't put it away. Crooksy has his chance now. And this time Damo getting a little bit greedy and getting the net touch, as we got a 12-9 technical timeout.
And you know what, I can say this because we're not on live commentary, so Damo can't hear me. But if he gets 1 or 2 big blocks, he's going to go chasing that ball and trying to reach a little bit more as well.
Oh, so we might have a wrong score here.
We're just going to double check the score sheet. That is the score sheet is the official score. We're just going to make sure it is correct on the scoreboard. And it's 9-11. So we're going to have one more before our technical timeout. Just an accidental double flip there.
It's just what Isaac and Aaron will be hoping for as they get their last serve into the wind.
Oh, that's a great touch. So Isaac, great play. Justin seeing the open court. So Isaac not having any choice, having to put that ball over. He did get a touch on the block, and in beach volleyball that does count as one of your 3 touches. So Crooksy making a great diving dig, but putting Isaac under the pressure of having to put that 3rd touch over. And we see did an amazing job to actually get that back into play. Really, really strong dig.
Yeah, having to run the 8 metres from one side of the court to the other, and then to have to get up and turn around to try and defend the court. Unfortunately, he committed to going across the back to the line, and Justin seeing that and just putting it back to where he was coming from. But as we were before the, double checking the score, it is 12-9 with the Schumann's leading.
Real interesting start of the second set there. I think Schumann's came out with that big lead. They had a 5-2 opening end, and then Crooksy and Isaac managed to peg that back and bring it right back to level pegging. So I think it's I think the boys in red would probably be going into this second half thinking that they've stolen a bit of that momentum back. Justy's going to bang this serve into the wind.
Great answer there from Isaac. Just hammering that ball across court. Just short of Justin, a little bit in his feet.
Yeah, really good spot there on the inside of the block. Just sharp enough that it just puts the defender under an enormous amount of pressure.
But once again, back to the 2-ball offense from Justy. He's been on it all game so far.
I did hear him before this game say, Damo, just set me like you would Chris, because I think I'm bigger than Chris in my reach. So Damo just rolling out the Olympic gameplay with Justy hitting the 2 balls.
Yeah, Justy must be loving being on the other side of 2-ball offense. Last year, partnering up with Garang, where Justin's role was to put the ball up for Garang to hit on 2.
Great dig there.
Some ridiculous action here right now.
And Damien just a little bit angry with himself there. He pulled off that net, I think. Nice, great play there. Damo knowing that if he let that ball come down any further, it would have hit the antenna and that would have been out of play. So having to hit that backhand.
Justy's 2-ball stats would be ridiculous at the moment. I can't remember if he's actually hasn't won a point where he's gone for it.
And I think, not only are they scoring a lot of points, but I'll tell you what else they're doing. They'd be frustrating the hell out of Crooksy and Isaac. Isaac's having to really concentrate, watching Justy on that 2-ball approach to work out whether he's going to jump on there or move outside for the 3rd touch. And Crooksy would be furious that he's not digging these. He is a man that expects to be able to make everything, and more often than not does.
Guys, just say that there's 2-ball that Isaac's actually pulled off a little bit early, got the dig, and then he's able to convert. So we've got a 14-all end switch now. So great end for Isaac and Aaron. Down the bad end as well.
Yeah, that's an absolutely enormous end to come back, tie that thing up at 14-all.
But a great shot by Damien Schumann over the top of Isaac Carraher, down the line, and all Aaron Crook can do is just look at it, land in the court. Justin Schumann back to serve, and them leading 15-14.
And so, sometimes it doesn't matter how good your defense is. If someone hits a really good high line shot or a really good cut shot, you're just not going to be able to get it. and you see Crooksy kind of looking at that and just nodding the head thinking, that one's probably a little bit too good.
So Damien Schumann actually served then. Had the wrong server back there. Great touch off his block.
Great dig.
And that ball was well out of shot.
Super tricky ball to hit. One that skies up, right up high into the air. You've got to deal with the sun. That wind's going to blow the ball around enormously. Really challenging to hit that on one. But Isaac obviously feeling the game's in control and really wanting to keep attacking. Just unable to put it on the sand.
A great set from Isaac there. Getting that quick ball out again to Aaron Crooks and collecting the block, and then Justin reaching up and almost got that ball to land in, but ball is out. 15-16 to Aaron Crook and Isaac Carraher trailing.
And that quick offense from Carraher and Crook still working quite well.
That great gator dig there from Aaron Crook, keeping that point alive. Great pull dig by Isaac. A little bit of a stumble.
Justin reading the play really well there, pulling off the net, but just unable to control that final touch. Really, really good point. Great defense. Both teams showing the ability to peel off the net, make that defensive dig, and then keep attacking. It's one thing to get the dig, it's another thing to put a really good setup so you can attack it again.
Net touch there from Isaac. Isaac reckons it was Damo. He's calling out for Damo to call it, but when you're at this stage and it's 16-all, you've lost the first set. There's no blocker in the world that's going to call that on themselves.
Actually struggled to see a bit on that replay. I'm not sure who did that. But I do know both first and second referees both pointed the same way immediately.
You have a great side-out swing there from Aaron Crook. Game still tied, 17-all. Isaac to serve into the wind.
Really big point here. We're going to change ends after this point, so who's going to go in with the lead?
Damon with the shot off the top of the block, meaning Isaac has to put that free ball over.
And Isaac just catching the net that time.
Yeah, that time, no arguments there. Isaac just having a little chat to top ref there, Pete Bowie. Trying to get a listen, but couldn't quite hear it.
I think he just said the blockers are just coming under the net a bit and just taking away some of the space that Isaac's got to land when he is blocking. So I think first referee Pete Bowie will just be really mindful. As we mentioned earlier, you can move underneath the net, but you can't interfere. So just making sure that when both the attackers and blockers are coming down, that no one is penetrating underneath the net and getting in the way of safely landing.
Oh, ridiculous reactions there by Dana to keep that ball alive. And then Crooksy putting it out of reach of Justin Schumann though, 18-all. That was a huge point where if the Schumann's got that one down, they would have been up 19-17 and at the good end.
And they made a great play one time, but just too good for the second time. I think we're being treated to some absolute royalty in defence here as well with Damo, Justy and Crooksy. We've got three of the best defenders that have played probably in the last 10 years on the national tour.
As Damo puts that ball down the line to give themselves the 19-18 lead. And even Isaac will give him his chocolates as well. He's played good in defence when he's had to as well, you know, covering a long range of the court as Damo shuts out Crooksy there. And they've got a set point leading 20-18.
Yeah, you're spot on. Isaac has played, and I'll tell you what he's done really well. He's played a great blocking role where he's peeled off the net and made some really good defensive positioning. And that's hard to do. That's look who I'm talking to. Max, you'd understand exactly how hard that is to do.
It's a few times now where Justin's thrown up that hand to get a touch on it, and every time now they've all gone out wide of the line. He'd be kicking himself for that, just be thinking, oh, just get that ball up and have a swing on it. But they've got a side out here for the win of this set. And they take it, so we're going to 3. Justy with a little bit of celebration through the net, and Damo quickly putting his arm around him and going, come on, back to the bench. Got another set to play. This time we're playing to 15, change of ends every 5 points. And unlike the last time, if there's a big swing of points, a couple of points here, a couple of points there, before you know it, it'll be the end of the set. So, teams can't afford to give up 3 or 4 points in a row.
No, that's exactly right. Every point in every end here is really, really important. So, sometimes that 3-2 end when you start doesn't feel like huge, but you stitch a couple together, and by the end of the third set, you've got that 3-point lead, and you're moving into the 10s, and it's really hard to peg that back.
So just watching the coin toss there, it looks like we'll have Isaac Carr and Aaron Cook receiving to start the third set. And I'm going to hazard a guess that the Shooms will be down on the left side of your screen at the beach house end of the sand with the serve. We'd like to thank the sponsors again, like City Holdfast Bay, Jetty Road Glenelg, the Moseley Beach Club. I'm currently sipping on some fruit juice out of a pineapple. It looks like a cocktail, but it is not. And Nippies as well, keeping all the players hydrated as they're out there putting on a show for you guys.
City of Holdfast Bay and Jetty Road Traders, obviously long-time supporters of this amazing event, and Volleyball SA and the SA Beach Volleyball Series in general have looked after us and allowed us these amazing beaches to play on here in South Australia for 10 plus years. Really good first point by Carraher and Crook. That's exactly what they would have spoken about. Put that second set beside them, coming out, get that opening point and going on a serving run.
It was a great two-ball swing there from Isaac. We'll see if these guys go for the same sort of tactic as that ball just goes wide. Yeah, see if they go for the same sort of offensive tactic as the Schumans have put in about, trying to emphasise that two-ball attack, get Isaac, who's the bigger hitter, up and trying to get those 3 points.
That ball just drifting really tight, bringing the block in, but Damo just unable to penetrate over the net and get in that attacker's space. Crooksy just using the top of the hand and banging the ball out of court.
Isaac pulling with Crooksy getting the dig on Damien Sherman, has a chance, can't put it away. He made the move this time for that two ball from Justy, but just couldn't quite get enough of a touch on that to get that ball up for Isaac.
So Justy's done the two ball from left side in serve receive, so you might as well do it from right side in transition as well.
As we could see there, it's just getting up high on Crooksy's shoulders. Right. Not only just block to stop that angle, but then to land and put that ball up. So good of a set there by Damo, and Justy finishing it off with the hit.
And Crooksy completely forgiven for pulling off the net there. I mean, it's really unlikely that blocker is going to be able to put up a really good second touch to attack. So Crooksy using the opportunity to come off and play a defensive shot, just not able to make position quick enough.
Here we go. We've got the first little break point here in this third set, with the Schumans leading 4-2 now. It's been very tight here to the start. But Crooksy and Isaac are at the win in the face end, so they have the opportunity to create a fair few points with their serve if they can take the chance to. Here with Justy serving. Damo making the move, getting that dig on Isaac. Oh, a net touch. Net touch call on Isaac.
And Crooksy very quickly takes a timeout.
Isaac very convinced it didn't touch the net there.
Maybe just on the way down as he turned.
Yeah, it could have been a singlet touching, and as a blocker, you can't always tell when your singlet just flicks the net. But we've got that timeout. Shooting Brothers will just be going. Got to keep calm, keep this lead. We just got to side out from here. They've got the break that they need. They've got the split in the points where Isaac and Crooksy need to settle down, get this offense back on track, and then they have to fight and scratch back these points to, get back to a tie and then try and take this win.
Yeah, big couple of points coming out. Obviously, Crooksy and Isaac would be looking to score, knowing that if they can get this side out, then stitch a couple together, they can finish this end at 5-all. So certainly can tie this up in the next few points, but just needing this first ball side out here.
But they can't get it as Damo jumps into the cross court, shutting the door from Crooksy, getting the block, 6-2 up. Now, Damo's old coach, Andrew Schott, is actually watching in the VIP area currently. I'm sure he might be wondering, maybe should have sent Damo out to the net a few more times. Another great touch there by Damo on the block, but this time handled quite comfortably by Isaac on the cover and then putting the ball away.
So Crooks is going to go back and serve, and they're really going to work hard to get this point in transition. Good block touch by Isaac.
Just a great little cross-body shot down, or across the body line hit there. Crooksy thinking it's out, but nope, just getting inside the line.
Tell you what, Isaac did not leave him much room there at all. Millimetre perfect.
Seven to 3 scoreline. Schumann's pulling out a nice little lead here. Then giving them a point back, serving out.
What were you saying before about you can't serve out with the wind in your face, Max?
You can afford to maybe go out a little bit longer, but the biggest thing is you don't serve into the net. At least those up there, at least Crooksy had to think about it as they go back and side out straight away. Another great jump in there by Damo, but Isaac getting the cover and putting the ball away, this time over the top of the block.
Yeah, that's a great play by Isaac there. Made a great cover dig, put it right on Crooksy's head, so Crooksy just had to turn, set that ball up, and then made a great attack. Really, really strong defensive play.
Now pulled there by Isaac. Damo looking for him, trying to get him, but just putting the ball long. So get a couple points here for Isaac and Aaron. Now trailing by 6 to 8. Big point here on the switch. But the Schumans get it, and they're taking that 9 to 6 lead.
Yeah, that was huge. I mean, the opportunity to either close down 8 to 6 or go, 8 to 7 or go 9 to 6 is a really big one, especially when we've got the wind doing a bit. So Crooksy and Isaac come down to the good end now, and they're still very much in this. I mean, they've got the good end. Even if they win at 3-2, they're still only that couple of points behind. So they're going to want to put this first point together and get that early side out. And we see that quick offense again.
Working very nicely there. But now going back to serve, they're going to need to put that pressure on the pass of Justin and Damien Schumann here. Need to try and, get a pass that's going a fair bit off the net. Give themselves opportunity. Damo too good though. Just slapping that ball through the hands of Isaac. Isaac was ready, tried to get that turn and dig, but not quite.
(10-7), a 3-point lead. As Max said earlier, it is a race to 15, and again, that quick offense, just they're playing that ball quite high, looking for the back corners, and what that means is Damo's really having to reach really high up, and because of that, his hands are getting up very parallel to the net, and they're able to use the top of his fingers just to bang that ball off.
Now the switch up, Justin getting the receive on that time, but putting the ball away down the line. Isaac giving him a little space, and Justy took it. Damo's back to serve, leading 11-8 in this third set final here.
And we saw, a great shot, great high line there by Crooksy. Just one of those that it's just too good. There's no way you can get to it. And we did see in the start of that first set, Damo and Justy sharing the blocking responsibilities a bit. They've gone away from that now. Damo doing a bit more of the work, and Justin holding the backcourt back.
I think after Damo gets a few of those blocks, though, as Justy kind of go, yeah, all right, you go up to the net.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's getting another great 2-ball there from Justy. Damo putting it up there nicely. Isaac didn't even have a chance to get up to the net. It was that quick.
That's going to go to 12-9. The boys having a 3-point lead. Just finding that corner.
And now right on the corner. Crooksy asking the head referee, Pete Bowie, to go and have a look at it, but Pete saying, no, I saw that hit the line.
Crooksy very confident that it was missing, or did miss.
Now Isaac going up to just clean his glasses off a little bit. Or in that replay, couldn't quite see where the ball landed, but you could definitely see the line move.
And we know in beach volleyball, the ball doesn't necessarily have to land in the line or on the line. If it clips the line on the way through but lands out, it is deemed to be in. So any time the ball does touch that cloth line, it is in.
This time, no doubt at all, that ball was out.
13-10 here. The Schumans with a couple of handy points lead.
Damo going back to his line shot. They've got the set point. They've got their match point here, leading 14-10 with Damo back to serve.
4 championship gold medal points here.
And he served out.
That's a letdown.
All right, well, we've got the end change here. Now, it's not impossible here for Isaac and Crooksy to get this back, but they need to be perfect here for 3 points to get it.
Look, they've shown that they can do it a lot, though. They've put together a lot of transition points really well this match.
Well, could we have one? Crooksy puts it away. There we go. We've got 1 defensive point. We need 2 more.
And we just saw the Schumans, we've mentioned a few times, obviously, both defenders just getting caught with no one being up in the net initially. Justin making a late charge.
Flat low serve there from Isaac, and Damo does it, puts it away on the line. Your 2022 SA Open beach volleyball champions on the men's side are the brothers of Justin Schumann and Tokyo Olympian Damien Schumann. A great 3-set battle there with Isaac Carraher and Aaron Crook. Both teams should be very happy with how they played and the show that they put on for the crowd here.
And I think it's worth pointing out again. I mean, Isaac and Crooksy, they had no preparation for this tournament. They didn't expect to be playing together. you know, Crooksy didn't even expect to be in South Australia for it, and then having to come together really last minute, not training together, not playing together regularly, and putting together the performance they have, not only today but yesterday as well, topping their pool, coming through their quarters, winning their semi, and then taking the number one seeds all the way to 15-12 is I mean, they'll be bitterly disappointed, as you always are, but I think they've done a great tournament under the circumstances, and, you know, certainly, hopefully to see Crooksy around a lot more and travelling back next year, and Isaac certainly coming back year after year.
All right, so that's it for the men's gold medal match, but don't go anywhere, because in just, it should be technically in 4 minutes, but it'll be 10 minutes away from the girls' gold medal match kicking off, where we'll have Caitlin Bedonay and Rebecca Ingram going up against Jess Jones and Tiffany Matchett. Stay tuned.